Manik. First
Hi,
of
Pooja.
all, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Lovely hearing about what you're doing. So, Manik Pasricha is the founder and CEO of Creditnama, which is hopefully about to get launched in another roughly month.
Yes,
or so. That's what
right.
we're expecting. Great. So, Manik, why don't we first understand? I know we're talking about a fintech space, which is the digital lending space. Now, apart from the fact that it's new for a lot of viewers, and we'll come to the nuances of that. Would you like to quickly give us a background of what made you even jump into a solution like this?
Sure. I graduated from IIT Delhi and then I was working in the US with a strategy consulting firm. And I was thinking about moving back. I had done my MBA there and I was looking for buying a house. So I went on one of the fintech websites and looked for home loan and made the grave mistake of dropping my number there. Next thing I know, I got like 100 telemarketing calls asking me the same questions. How much loan do you want? Can you send me advance money on WhatsApp? Can you send me your documents on WhatsApp? And that's when I realized that home loan in India, for all the fintech advancement that we have made, is still opaque, complex, and really full of a lot of gotchas for customers. So that's when I decided to move back to India to start Creditnama, which is focused on digital lending for home loans.
Right. And interesting. So, were you able to first get your home loan, which you were looking for?
Apparently, that is still work in progress.
Still work
Maybe
in
my
progress.
own company
Wow.
will fulfill that promise to me.
Great, excellent. So, Manik, I get it that there was a problem you identified, and of course, the market and the space is huge in terms of the players that are there currently, and there's enough room for a lot more. But what made you jump into entrepreneurship?
So it's always been my blood to create some value, something that I can, look beyond as something that I've created for myself beyond for others. And I really like working with smart people. And the idea of being able to work with smart people, creating your own team, building something that lasts beyond yourself is something that made me really attracted to entrepreneurship.
Amazing, superb. So, can you help us understand a little about the product? How is it going to work for let's say, a random user who will come to the website, who's looking for options, and what will the user flow be like?
Sure. So Creditnama.com, it's a web application. It's a new age digital lending company for customers seeking asset-backed loans. So asset-backed loans would be home loan, mortgage loans, commercial loans. So on Creditnama.com today, you can compare through 40 plus banks and NBFCs through which you can find the exact loan that fits your needs. So what is your loan amount? What is your tenure? If you want a prepayment clause, if you are okay with foreclosure charges, all these parameters. And in real time, it will give you an eligibility of your loan based on your profile. And our long-term goal is to be able to disburse real-time loans for real estate, which means that if you have an eligible property or a collateral, we can give you a sense of a real-time disbursement right into your bank account at that moment so that you can be relieved and we are good to go through an entire digital product experience for the customer, which does not exist in India today.
Got it. So Creditnama is like an aggregator, and on one side of the business, you'll be probably partnering with a lot of these NBFCs and banks who might want to give the loans, and on the other side, you will be looking at the supply, the demand side of it.
That is correct.
Is
that is
that
correct.
right?
And we are customer obsessed. So the customers are facing issues with respect to transparency being opaque. They don't know where they are in the process. We want to solve that part and make it a win-win proposition for them as well as for the banks and NBFCs.
Right. What would be some of the other digital lending options that are already there in India?
So there isn't any end-to-end great digital product experience. Like think about pre-Uber days, right? Imagine a world in which you want to hail a cab, you call or give your number to a website, and then 100 of telemarketers call you, right? Fortunately, that does not exist because Uber exists now. So that's an entire product experience. Nobody is calling you or hounding you through telemarketing, right? That's what we want to become in India in terms of secured lending. We want an entire elevated product experience for customers seeking asset-backed loans.
Right, understood. So I understand that we're roughly a year-old company now, and in another month you'll be launching the product. So what is the team size right now?
We are fairly lean. We are a bootstrap company. We are fairly lean. And my entire value prop for hiring is that look for people who are high on ownership and high on radical candor. That means that we are a close-knit team which focuses on being able to deliver together as well as individually.
Got it. Mostly tech team, is it?
I'm actually the tech guy. So like we have a few tech people, but so this requires some elaborate operation, right? So we will have some focus on products, some on operations, and I'm one of the tech guys as well.
Understood.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming since this is a new product, you will look for product market fit, like we were discussing.
Right.
But what are the funding plans looking like?
So I don't really call it funding. I call it more of a partnership. So for us, what is important is that we are able to find a right partner from which we can get the right guidance, right kind of mentorship, as well as being able to grow together with a shared vision. So for us, it's not necessarily about, we already have a few offers on the table, but we want to be able to get to a point where we can really think first principles and ground up about the secured lending market in India and reshape it digitally in the way that it elevates customer experience.
Understood. So right now the interest that you have, let's say from a funding point of view, is more from finance kind of companies or lending related companies, or are these more angels and VCs who are showing more interest?
So whenever I think about funding, I remember my MBA prof at Chicago booth. He used to say this line that has stuck in my mind. He said, if you go for funding, you will get advice. If you go for advice, you will get funding. So we are not necessarily looking for funding, but we are looking for advice. And mentorship.
Understood.
And that can come from angel investors, that can come from early stage VCs. We are essentially looking for leaders who have actually created a product-led growth in a market like India, as well as somebody who has expertise in PropTech/FinTech space.
And there's going to be no field force in a business like this, is that right?
As in?
Like a field force as in people going out and...
That is actually our USP. We are not, and we will never be, a telemarketing in disguise company. We are a company in which we are here for you if you need to reach out to us. But if you drop your number, you will not get 100 calls from us. Whenever you're uploading a document to us, this is to an entire secured SSL network. There is no WhatsApp communication in terms of your private documents. The entire process has to be digital. And so we will not have a force of telemarketers sitting in some part of India trying to call you and again asking you repeatedly the same questions. It's not something that the world needs anymore in 2024.
Right. So India is a huge market. Within that, are we saying we're catering to everyone, or who is our niche TG within that? Like Cred has a certain type of market. There are certain NBFCs who deal with only those 15, 20, 25,000 rupees loans, right? Then there are some that deal in a certain bracket or certain type of people. So how would you define your TG?
So broadly, we have two kind of customers. One are salaried customers who are looking for a home loan, and then we have what we will call as MSMEs, so they can be proprietors or private limited, and they're looking for commercial loans or mortgage loans, right? So our first point of attack is with respect to the salaried customers. Our first focus is in the Delhi NCR market, but we plan to launch into Tier 3, Tier 4 quickly, because that's where we see a lot of market dynamic changing with respect to, for example, the PM Awas Yojana and the affordable housing projects. Already the finance minister spoke about 2 crore houses already being built, and then 2 crore are already on the way. So fundamentally, even we are sitting in Gurgaon right now. Fundamentally, the market prices of property in the last 4 years have risen anywhere between 30 to 100%. So fundamental shifts are happening in India with respect to houses and the way that people deal with property, especially people in our age group, right? The millennials. Some of them cannot afford it. Some of them are looking at this as a lifelong project, right? We are not a 25,000 rupees loan average order value sort of. We are a 30 lakh rupees average ticket size customer.
Right.
So for us, the approach as well as the credibility that is needed to deserve that level of respect from the customer is entirely different.
Understood. So, Manik, is there any role that Creditnama will play in the filtering process in terms of who to give and how much to give, or is that going to be completely a decision made by the NBFC which is participating? So
we are an AI native company, okay? And when I say AI, I don't throw around it like that. I come from a 10-year artificial intelligence, data science background at companies like Fractal Analytics and Boston Consulting Group. So we prioritize customers who are highly eligible, and then for those customers, we give them almost like a Netflix-like recommendation engine of lenders where you can comparatively shop and exactly choose the lender that you want. This entire process is artificial intelligence driven through our proprietary algorithms. We look at 20 plus parameters and deciding what is the right lender fit for the borrower.
Understood. So I'm going to fire some rapid fire questions to you. Okay. Now, and I understand that you like a year into entrepreneurship, but I'm sure you've seen a lot in terms of the possible team related things, or even if it's outsourced, right? Experiences I experienced. So, okay, quickly. Bootstrap for 10 years versus raise funds in the first 6 months.
Bootstrap for 10 years.
If you have money in the bank to pay only one of these, who would you prioritize? One, a vendor whose payment is due for over 2 months, an investor whose payment is due in that month, a customer who has won some cash reward, and you can pay only one of these.
Corporate governance dictates that I pay the vendor first.
Understood. For your leadership team, and I know you're an IITian, for your leadership team, will you look for IIT IIM grads or Tier 2 city youth?
Aptitude at all times before anything else.
First hire, if you were to decide, and you can decide on only one, will it be in sales or ops?
That's a difficult one. I'll hire anybody who thinks that they can make a great fit and they feel confident about juggling
both
in the beginning, right? Yes.
True. No, you need hustlers
Right.
in any startup team. Remote teams versus in-office teams. What
In-office
works best?
team, having the flexibility to be not in the office when they have other priorities in life, including family.
Understood. One thing that you've learned about entrepreneurship after starting up that you were not prepared for?
I used to think that there's some weaknesses and strengths that I have, but it's surprising that those are not the ones that I thought that I have.
Okay. Would you like to give an example?
So we in MBA we learn a lot about leadership, right? Like global business schools talk a lot about leadership. There is a entirely different set of leadership required to go from 0 to 1. And that requires being able to juggle as well and also have ability to understand 80% of all domains in which you are leading your teams. So that's been a surprise for me.
That's a new one. But I'm sure it's keeping you very, very interested, and more organized in the different domains.
Yeah, like that's exciting time. Like if you are able to find PMF and if you are able to really hit it big, that will solve a lot of issues for a lot of customers, their headaches, and being able to give them like an entire product experience that they deserve, having the entire life cycle of loan clearly in front of them where they are in the process.
Sure. And one challenge that Manik you might be facing right now as an entrepreneur, if you were to share.
So hiring smart people is always a challenge. I spend about 30-40% of my time hiring for the right fit of aptitude as well as attitude. If you are the right fit, please reach out to me at creditnama.com/careers. I would love to hear from you. I'm also on LinkedIn.
Great, absolutely. One last thing that you might want to tell your potential customers who might be looking for loans.
So oftentimes we don't realize what we are missing. The entire system where a bunch of telemarketers are calling you and RBI giving information about scams and all those issues, that will be a thing of the past soon. Try out creditnama.com, the entire product experience online, and you will realize that there is a better option out there that can reduce your headache next time you're applying for a home loan.
Great. Thank you so much, Manik. It was lovely having you on
Nice
the
to
show.
meet you. Thank you so much for your time.